The baseball coach at BYU, Mike Littlewood, now joins us in Studio B. Oh, man, 10 straight wins. It's such a finicky, delicate game.
Can we applaud
Coach?
this? Because it was Utah,
amazing.
too. That was
and you beat
awesome.
Utah.
Yeah.
It's such a delicate game. One bounce can change the entire complexity of a game. How do you win 10 straight when it comes down to those little fine details?
You know, I was asked that last night, and I really don't have an answer because Samford had guys on first and third in the ninth inning with one out. All they had to do is hit a fly ball and the game's tied. And Kansas had that situation. And so, I mean, a little bit of it's luck, a lot of it's execution. And I think the biggest thing is guys think they can win because there's teams that have a lot of talent, but they'll go out and they just find a way to lose. Our team is pretty talented, not the most talented, but they believe they can win, and that's such a huge thing. And again, we understand we're not going to win every game. A loss is going to happen, but if we go out and play with the same competitiveness we have been, things are going to be okay for us.
A Tuesday game against Utah in 2016 is a weird game because you're going to throw a bunch of pitchers, but it's Utah, and oh, by the way, it's snowing, and you want to win this game. What was that dynamic like last night?
Well, I told our guys the day before, we're playing no matter what. And I didn't think it'd be snowing, but I said we're not going to get colded out. Unless it's snowing or raining during the game, I didn't say flurries because that's what it was, we're going to play. So their mindset was, we're playing. You can get in that mindset, well, I hope it snows and it's kind of cold. We knew we were going to play. Utah's an important game. Just because we had 5 games last week, the only guys that were really ready for us were our pen guys. And so we knew that we had to go out there and throw strikes. And it's actually pretty challenging if you throw strikes and you're seeing a new pitcher every single inning. We got to their starter in the 4th or 5th. I believe it was the 4th for a couple runs after seeing him a time through the lineup. They weren't able to do that against us. So I was really proud of our pitching staff.
Mike Littlewood with us in Studio B on BYU Sports Nation. The BYU baseball team has won 10 straight, 16-1 overall, best start in program history. And your guys, for the most part, are growing mustaches until they lose a series. They're calling themselves the Mustache Mafia.
And marketing handed out mustaches. My little girl had a mustache.
It was great.
It was great.
It was fantastic. Who has the best mustache capability on your team right now among the players?
Oh, because I was going to say Trent Pratt among the coaches.
Yes.
Everybody's like Officer Pratt. Doesn't it just fit perfectly?
Totally.
You know, Keaton Kringlen, he doesn't play a whole lot for us. Freshman, his is pretty good. He's got a little curly, like that Raleigh fingers going a little bit.
Okay.
His is pretty good. Some guys can't grow them. Some guys, I think, have dyed theirs. I couldn't.
Really?
There's no way I could grow a mustache at that age, and I'm having trouble right now. So I told you last night I've been working on mine for like 3 months, and
it's going to come in.
It's going to come in. I know it
Yeah.
is, but it's fun. And Colton Shaver started growing his mustache and went over, and so he shaved it, and now there's so many superstitions in baseball. So I'm like, after a week I see all these guys with kind of like dirt around their upper lip, and I'm like, what's going on? And pretty soon I was the last to know. And I'm like, well, I can't do it because I haven't started from the first. So I kind of got out of it by accident. So it's kind of fun though.
I love that kind of team chemistry that's brought to, and you guys have said we're gonna do this until we lose a series. So you play, Pacific this weekend. You take 2 or 3, keep it going. But what's it like to you guys go, socks up, rolled up all the way to the knee, you got the mustaches. It seems like things are going well for this team off the field too.
Yeah, I've talked about that a lot. The biggest thing about this team is the camaraderie. They get along, and I think we talked about it last night during the 4th inning interview. People who haven't played on a team don't understand how big team chemistry is. We don't even have one guy who's like maybe a little bit of a cancer that's going to pull a couple other guys. I'm not playing. I'm not happy. Everybody from the most veteran guy to the youngest guy, the newest guy has accepted their role, and they're doing whatever they can. They play hard in practice, as Jason Shepard's there every day. He can attest to that.
Yes, he is.
We just go about it the right way. These guys go about it the right way, and I don't even like it when people say, hey, coach has won 10 games in a row, because all I do is stand there and the guys do it. It really is a team effort. Kind of fun.
Mike Littlewood with us, head baseball coach at BYU. The Cougars are ranked number 29 in the latest top 30 poll, ranked for the first time in 22 years, Coach. What kind of importance do you attach to the early season national cloud and national ranking?
0. I really don't. I mean, it's a feather in the guy's cap, but we had a meeting Wednesday, and I said it wasn't one of our initial goals. We had two long-term goals. for the season. One was to win the West Coast Conference, and secondly was to get into a regional. Those are our goals. The rankings take care of themselves, and rankings are nice. Don't get me wrong. That's an important thing, but we're not going to just hang our hat on being ranked, because, like I told them Monday before the game, if we're ranked 13th and we lose to Utah, who's going to care about being ranked 13th? Because Utah's the game we want to win. And so I think these guys have really good perspective on things and understand kind of what we're trying to do, and that's win the West Coast Conference. First of all, league championship. Secondly, the conference tournament, get into that regional and see what kind of damage we can do.
With the start, 16-1, still a school record start, and that's crazy in baseball. I mean, the good teams have a winning percentage in the 60s. You're 16-1. Mm-hmm. Have your expectations or hopes or ideas about what this team could do changed at all from the beginning of the year?
Not really. I mean, nobody would have expected 16-1. There's just no way. I mean, I had teams at Dixie where there wasn't as much parity at the junior college level, where I think when we won it, we were 51-14. So I've had teams that have had really, really good records and gone on, and it just doesn't matter a whole lot. The thing with the record is it proves that these guys believe they can win, and that's such a huge thing. I mean, there's been teams that they go, man, you're talented, but you can't get the W, and the W the W is what you want when you play athletics, and that's, these guys believe they can get it done.
WCC play begins on Thursday, so I know that one of your goals is to win a conference championship. Do you approach these types of games any differently as a coach in terms of mental preparation and psyching your guys up, because it is one of your main goals in conference play?
Not really. I mean, we try to keep, one of our philosophies is keep even-keeledness on the field, at bats. If an umpire makes a bad call, you'll notice when an umpire makes a bad call, we're not going to shake our head. We might you might see the guys kind of shrug a little bit, but that's all they'll do. And then they'll hustle back to the dugout, because if you get too high and too low, things don't work out for you. So keep an even keel perspective, keep playing hard, keep doing the fundamentals. Today we're going to work on bunt defense, because I didn't like the way we executed last night. Just get back to the fundamentals of playing catch, pitching it, and getting key hits. I mean, that'll carry us.
Mike, last night there was a weird situation where there was a debate of when an at bat begins, and I think you went out twice during them. Mm-hmm. Can you explain what happened in that? Because I was in the stands and I was like, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, well, I think Utah had the rule right. So when you can't make two visits during the same batter, and so when I went out, it was before the at bat started, and then I told Zach, hey, you got to throw strikes, basically. And then after he threw 3 more balls, I went out again. And I kind of thought Scott, the umpire, would probably stop me. The rule is I could have actually got ejected, but he's a professional umpire, and he may not know the college rules yet. Really good umpire. He should have said, hey, coach, you can't make that trip. It's 2 in 1 batter. In that case, I would have went back. But I wasn't really panicked about having to get somebody in. I just wanted to prove a point that you have to throw strikes to be able to pitch on our staff, more than anything. And so he let me go. I made the switch. They came back in. They talked about it for 10 minutes. I was freezing my tail off. And so they didn't know the rule. All 3 umpires didn't know. And I told Trent, I go, I think they're right, but so I yelled to Zach, hey, you may have to go back in and throw. Anyway, they came over and go, hey, we're going to go get our rule book and look at it. And I said, there's no way we're going to sit out here for 20 minutes while you guys go look at your rule book. I'll just send him back in, as long as I can send Keaton back in after this next batter. And they said, okay. So that's what we did.
Man, so after all that, he throws a strike, by the way.
2 strikes.
He leaves the game, comes back in and throws a strike. So your master plan worked.
Yeah, it was perfect. It worked out perfect.
You iced your own pitcher positively.
We put Jason Shepard in the dugout as a new dynamic on BYU TV's baseball coverage, and had some in-game interviews with players that had played and then were done for the day. And, of course, it was kind of just this brand-new look and access to BYU baseball. So, from your perspective and your team's perspective, how did that go?
It went great. Jason's been to every practice. He knows our guys. He knows the ins and outs of what we try to do. So he works with Brent Herring on our staff. And hey, can I go interview this guy and this guy? So it's not just random.
We wanted that with Jason.
I love it. I mean, I really love it. I think I watched the game last night. I try to watch every game after, so it was kind of a late night for me. But I watched the interviews, and I thought it was great to get that perspective and see Mike Rucker talk about, he's having a great year, and talk about his upcoming start, and then Maverick Buffo, what he wanted to accomplish and what he worked on during practice to get to the point where he was. I loved it. I mean, I thought it was great. And when we sat down a couple months ago with Caitlin and Glenn, and they brought that up, I was all for it. I was all in.
How's Kyle Dean? He had a sore back or something?
Yeah, he's having back spasms, so it's kind of day to day. I think probably if we could have got him ready last night, he could have gone. But Brock Hale is. I mean, he's right there, probably swinging it better than Kyle right now.
Yeah, all he's done is hit 600 plus.
It's unbelievable. He's a special hitter. Some guys have the knack of squaring up the baseball every time, and Brock does that. So, it might be a tough decision Thursday if Kyle's healthy, what to do right there. So, but they're both incredible players. It's a nice problem to have. Hey, we got too many guys. How do we get them in? So
I think I gave Kyle Dean a sore leg before I gave him a sore back. So Kyle, apparently you have a sore leg for a couple of innings.
I heard that.
But then you have a sore back.
They're connected. They're connected.
Details, man. Details.
Colton Shaver hit another home run against Utah, and that brings us to our stat of the day.
It's the BYU Sports Nation stat of the day.
In 4 games against Utah in his career, he has 5 home runs. 5 home runs for Colton Shaver. What is it about Colton Shaver versus Utah?
Honestly, I think that when he was being recruited, I don't think Utah thought that he could. One, I don't think they liked him as a catcher, and they just didn't want to DH. Trent Pratt, our catching coach, thought that he had some potential catching, and he's caught doubleheaders for us and is doing a great job. I'm glad. So maybe there's a little extra motivation there. I'm not really sure. But I'm glad he chose BYU. It's great to have him here. He's a likable kid, and people think power hitter. He's a pure hitter. He'll go the other way, hits for average, and if you leave one over the plate like we saw last night, he's going to hit it off the scoreboard. So nice to have on our team.
Now the interesting thing is last night, even though he hit the home run, both you and he had a conversation about his at-bats overall not being that great. And so that says something about a mentality of a guy that, hey, I had a home run, we won, it was 6-0, we're rolling.
Yeah.
But he wasn't exactly happy with how he played.
Yeah, I thought he swung at too many pitches out of the zone. He chased changeup down, which is, if you see him day after day, he's better than that and might have got a little anxious. But their starting pitcher did that to everybody, so that changeup was pretty good. The thing about Colton is, though, if you do make a mistake, he's going to make you pay for it. For a power-type guy, I think he's got 3 strikeouts, maybe 4 on the season.
Are you serious?
So for a power-type guy,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty special that way. That's why I'm saying he's a pure hitter who's got a plan every time he goes up the plate.
In 67 at-bats.
Yeah.
3
is it
strikeouts.
Is it 3?
Including one last night.
Yeah.
Mark Reynolds thinks that's not a lot.
Oh, that's such a baseball statistic funny joke.
That guy whiffs a lot.
He does.
Yes, he does.
Swings hard.
Mike, congratulations on the 10-game win streak.
Thanks,
I know that the
man.
next one is the most important against Pacific. That will be on BYUtv on Thursday, starting at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. More from the dugout with Jason Shepard in that game as well. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.